Welcome back to some Talos Principle 2. I'm Dear Darling, and why are we here? What truth awaits us? Why don't we answer more of these questions together? Well, last time we're basically getting into the puzzles now, but we're going to start off with a nice conversation with Yaku of, tell me about yourself.
I don't know if there's much
Just to see
tell. I'm
what you got
not
to say.
that interesting. I'm just a member of the scavenging team. Well, senior member. Lead scavenger, I guess.
I mean, that's pretty good.
There's not that many of us left, to be honest, and
I don't really understand why we're on this project, though.
What else?
There was probably a reason, but I forgot.
I like old music. I have a collection of antique bottles. I think that's it.
Because we're such a new person to this civilization. It's like immediately, here we go, let's go on the journey. Why are you a scavenger?
Exploration, seeing new places.
That's nice.
That feeling that you're the first person to set foot somewhere after all this time. But you know, it's not even that. It's just seeing new things. The world is
variety is the
full
spice
of
of life.
remarkable sights, and experiencing them changes you. It's not the same as just reading about it.
So true, bestie. I agree. Discovering world enriches our lives. I think true change only comes through introspection. I think it's a bit of both, but I guess we'll go with this because it seems less dismissive of the other side.
On another mission, I find something that surprises me, that extends my horizons in ways I couldn't have anticipated. The world is so much bigger than we are.
Very true.
It contains things that we can't even imagine, and if we limit ourselves to our own minds, we'll never grow.
We kind of need both, I think. Tell me about Bruce.
He's 5 years old, half
What?
goofball, half psychopath. Loves sticking his head into things, chews cables.
What?
He's on electrical stuff.
Oh,
Nell
your cat.
banned him from her workshop, but he loves visiting her.
I
peeing
thought
on her equipment.
for a second this was one of our team members, and I was like, who? Because I was like, we got Melville, we got Yaku, we got Alcatraz, and I was like, is it the other person? I think that's Bryce, not Bruce, right? Why do you collect bottles?
I just find it fascinating that these fragile objects have survived for so long.
That's an interesting way to look at things.
Kind of pretty.
Beauty and fragility. Do you want to solve some of these puzzles?
Oh no, please.
Not
no
your thing?
Puzzles. I'm so bad at puzzles. I barely got out of the booting process.
Wait, is it just because we're
Everyone
really
thought
good
it
at
might be
puzzles, right?
defective.
What's the farthest you've ever been from New
It
Jerusalem?
might be this. Although
We are pretty
there
far
was an
away.
expedition to a superconductor storage facility up north, incredibly well preserved, but the logistics were an absolute nightmare. Now that I think about it, there might be some of that in you.
The superconductor. Have you ever seen anything like the megastructure in your
Our
travels?
ancestors built some pretty amazing things.
How did you get here, by
Huge
the way?
cities,
Oh, did you just take the
factories,
shuttle after me?
Mines, monuments to their
I didn't send it back,
history,
though.
but nothing quite like this, no.
I don't really understand how you made it here, but that's all. Are the others here with us? Don't really know. Wait, we have a map, don't we? Oh, here we go. Not sure what to call this. You said that with the last one. Bridge ring, bridge machine. Anyway, it's a device that takes particle clouds released by the puzzles and turns them into bridges made out of tetronomers. Correctly assembling a bridge out of 8 particle clouds is required to reach a tower, so clearly another layer of puzzles. The simulation had tetronomer puzzles too, though in a different form. Could their presence here be symbolic? I don't have a clue. What's 1K like? Hey, I'm curious, has anyone actually met 1K? By the founder's pistons, I hope he's interested in mechanical engineering or something. We desperately need more people to fix this city, to keep this city functional, so we don't have to rely on Melville to repair the stuff that Pellegrino fixes. Hey! Remember when you fixed the doors of the mayor's office? How long was Herman stuck in there? You trapped one mayor in his office for a week and you've marked your life for a week. Hope he's an artist. What we really need is new stories, new ideas to lift our spirits. You know, if we just keep growing, we wouldn't have to worry about this, and we wouldn't have to imprison poor 1K in a cage of expectations. 1K will be whatever the progenitor intended him to be, whatever the founder foresaw when she established the goal. He's polite and really interested in history. Oh, that's the person we first spoke with, which is an excellent start. I'm not going to name names, but some of you are a lot less impressive. I don't know who I should be, still deciding I want to explore. I don't see a contradiction between engineering and art. This is so me. I'm sure the founder's intent will reveal itself in time. I will find my own path. This is me. I don't see a contradiction between engineering and art. You're right, of course, it's a false dichotomy. There's no need to feel pressured, 1K. I was just curious. Without power and resources, there is no art, just saying. I don't think that's necessarily true either, by the way. Without power and resources, there's no art. Art can kind of be created from really nothing, to be perfectly honest. I suppose you might go on, then what about like existence itself, I suppose, and maybe, okay, then I give you that point, but that doesn't feel like genuine to what you were saying. Okay, well, it feels a lot more linear, the things we have to do right now. I mean, I guess we probably could go to World 4 and just sort of, not World 4, Level 4. Just to sort of try and attack that level. But I don't see any reason to really divert off the written path for us so far. We'll just sort of see how it goes. Again, with castling. What was the other one called? RGB connector. I should have paid attention to what level 2 was called. Do we only have access to a red laser? Can we like double connect? Oh, there's a button. Okay, so we can use you to weigh you down. Hold X to reset. Okay, I hope you can see that one from there. You can. And this will give us a blue, at least. Which will give us a connector. Which presumably we do need. With you. We need blue-green. Actually, we should put you on the button, shouldn't we? Keep connections. And then we should put you like this. Wait, what? No, that is right, okay. I got confused a second. I should have seen what level 2 was called. Or maybe I did, I just forgot, which is fair.
Let's see where it leads.
Okay. I am a fantastic solving puzzles, so you know, this is my contribution to society. Solving puzzles, yes, finally. It's interesting how everything's laid out.
The samples I collected so far. The soil sample results are in line with what would be expected in this type of environment.
What's
the
this?
samples from the above ground structures, though,
Let's do it after.
I tried dating them, but the results just don't make sense. None of the typical
Actually, it looks like we just
molecular
keep going with
markers
that.
are present. These walls could have been made 10,000 years ago or yesterday.
That's strange.
I could try to estimate an age based on erosion and plant growth, but
Inconsistent
I'm
data?
not sure that would make sense given how weird everything else is.
I think that's fair.
Good work, Yakut. Keep at it.
Palm reader. Whoa. The world endures. Oh, it's a terminal. From Hypatia's journals. Like one of the greatest female philosophers or something in ancient Greece, right? I think, like, that's the only one. I think that's who Hypatia is. Founding of New Jerusalem. We finally set out from the dam today. The site that Athena and Cornelius picked for the city isn't far, but the vegetation makes it going difficult. We found the secondary supply site easily enough thanks to Alexandra Drennan's instructions. Okay. But while I still to compile a detailed inventory, it seems that many of the more complex materials are in bad shape. They must have expected the simulation to fulfill its purpose a lot sooner, but then they probably expected all 12 of us to be there from day one, not just Athena. Right, so these were the original 12. Tonight we have to use the 2 recharging pods that we brought from the dam in 4-hour shifts, which is just as well. There's no telling what sort of critters are hiding in the underground, and most of them will have to learn that our kind isn't edible. From the introduction, Are We There Yet? Where We Came From, Where We're Going and Why You'll Need Snacks by Valerie Contero Romero. Sometimes people point at the last few hundred or thousand years of human history and say, look at how ugly it all is, look at what a mess we've made. Maybe modernity was a bad idea, maybe we should stick to living like cavemen. And I get it is ugly and messy, but the mistake is thinking that where we are right now is the end point, and that this is the adulthood of a human species. I mean, try to apply what you know about human development to human history, and think about babies. Babies are ugly. No. Hard disagree. Admit it. We all know it. They look like tiny old people covered in mucus. They have soft heads, and they grow into children, tiny sociopaths with underdeveloped brains. I feel like this is a bit of a negative view of kids, but okay. And then they become teenagers, pimply self-righteous lunatics driven by hormones. This is so dramatic. And then slowly, if you're lucky, they gradually become adults. The development of a human individual is always ugly and messy, but that's the point. Okay, I mean, like that I agree with, but you didn't have to go that hard. It's development towards something. The same applies to humanity as a whole. On a geological scale, we've barely just come into an existence. We've gotten through the baby phase, just about survived our childhood, but we're barely teenagers. Stopping here would be disastrous, and a betrayal of everything that we could still become. We may feel the weight of history on our shoulders, but this is just a prologue. To put it into pop culture terms, we haven't even made it out of the tutorial yet. And just because it's all pimples and hormones and frustration right now, doesn't mean it's never going to change. Fair enough. Dead City. From Considerations of Beginnings and Endings by Elwin. I think all that time Athena spent in this Dead City changed her. I don't think she had conceived of a goal before. I think she fully believed in the naively optimistic ideas of Alexandra Drennan, but walking through those ruins is a visceral experience. She spent a great deal of time there looking for resources. It's the sheer amount of death that gets to me. How many animals our ancestors killed, many to the point of extinction, entire species eradicated, sometimes for the most superficial reasons. Whenever humans arrived somewhere, death would follow. And then the great blowback, the deaths of billions of thinking beings, the extinction of humanity itself. It's too horrific to truly imagine, but I suspect the founder spent a great deal of time doing just that. That's when she must have realised that there was no way back to the growth-obsessed, all-consuming civilization of the path. So this is a perspective of our character, Athena, from Talos Principle 1, and I suppose the first sort of thing she did when she, I guess, discovered this area. Question mark over there, that's interesting. 567. Okay. What we got over here? Alternative option. So ultimately we need a green. We got a fan. Okay. So we got a red and blue. I mean, I guess we just do this. This seems simple enough, to be perfectly honest. In fact, too simple. What? Ah, okay, I see. We need to... Right, okay. Don't go on that yet. We need to be up here so we can actually select them. Interesting, so we can't select them through the windows. And then we now know in this game we can put stuff down like this. Oh, wait, turn the switch off, I guess. But we can keep the connections and connect like this and then turn it on. Okay. Again, everything's simple enough, but we are in World 1. We don't need to think too much about these. What's this music? Byron's here. Hello. What do you think of the song?
Tell me, what did you make of New Jerusalem?
It's bigger than I thought it would be. It's lovely. That's exactly what I would say. Feels like a museum. It's beautiful but decaying. It's falling apart, man. It's fantastic, self-contained, self-sufficient. Everything's so harmonious. Lovely.
It is, isn't it?
You sound suspicious.
We had such ambitions in the beginning.
There's definitely flaws.
But if you look closely, you'll notice the cracks. The places where it's all starting to fray. We've lost faith in ourselves, in our humanity. All we need to do now is finish that dome and we'll be trapped in our perfectly neat little tomb.
I don't really know why you need a tome. I want to ask you a question.
Of course, ask away.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm someone who was born a long time ago, when we couldn't afford to romanticize the past.
Oh yeah, you're
and
number 7.
demonize progress, when
Wait,
the value
so
of
that
human
log
civilization was evident because it was so close to being
includes
gone.
you, right? Because it was like,
I'm
it said
someone
12
who
of
believes
us,
that
right?
Human beings are important. Terribly, desperately important, because
You only wrote
intelligent
it?
life is rare and precious.
So true.
I suppose you could say I'm old-fashioned.
Fair enough. What's the roles of puzzles in our culture?
When Alexandra Drennan was trying to find a way of creating true AI,
It's a test.
she stumbled upon the idea that curiosity and playfulness
I really
core
love how they explain it in
characteristics of
lore for it to actually
intelligence.
make sense.
So she built the simulation around a game, because playing is part of what makes us human.
So true.
We also retain some of that code, as I'm sure you noticed when you were booting up. Because of that, puzzles
Yeah.
have always been important to our culture.
As it should
To
be.
me,
Puzzles are fantastic.
They represent the idea that the application of reason can lead us forward.
Okay,
None of which
I see what you're saying.
explains why these puzzles are here or who built them, but I think it shows that there must be some kind of intent behind them.
I feel like it's
Perhaps a
pretty hard to
test.
build a puzzle with no intent behind it, but... What do you think of a megastructure?
It's a mystery. Not just because it's technologically far ahead of us, but because we genuinely don't understand its purpose. And I think that's wonderful. It's just what we needed as a civilization.
Something we don't understand? You and Alcatraz seem to have an odd friendship.
Because we disagree on just about everything, you mean? Well, here's the secret.
What?
Al is honest.
That's fair.
He believes what he believes because it seems right to him, not because it gives him power over others.
You gotta respect
I
that, right?
respect that.
Oh yeah,
In
okay,
fact,
okay.
I prefer that to someone who agrees with me just because I'm one of the first companions.
Can we ask you about the log we saw? That's all. Okay, never mind. Apparently that's not important. You must not be involved in anyway. 567. I do see some question marks on the map, which I'm not really sure what that means, but maybe those are future levels and we just haven't like gotten to them yet. I'm not gonna try too hard to like do exploration stuff necessarily. Well, never mind. I mean, I'm gonna walk up here. To try and find things like the equivalent of the stars in Talos Principle 1. When I find them, we can backtrack to try and discover what they are. So this is the same
Another
as
set of golden gates. These
the
must be connected to
things.
the ones near the megastructure.
There was a harder set of puzzles in the simulation, right?
You think I'm behind
Maybe
here?
they're like that. I know 1K is probably like, yay, harder puzzles.
Excuse
But
me?
to me, that sounds like error code 704. No thanks.
This must be Athena, using the terminals, under the watch of our Eye of Elohim. I don't know what this cat's meant to be. This is them building the dome of a power generator, which we actually saw in the other place. I guess this is Athena and her teachings, and this is, I don't know what that is. Perhaps that will make more sense to us once we understand more about the law. I don't know what's going to make those gates open up, but interesting if the gates here, these are where the harder puzzles are. Interesting that the main hub world also has them. But that one is very, very clearly marked on the map. And over here, we do have like secrets or something to look out for. I don't really know what that entails, but triangles on the map. Hidden puzzles of some sort. Is this number 5? Is number 5? What's that? Okay, that's probably another log. Okay, what's this one? Through the door. Ah, okay, back to usual laser connector. So that sounds through. Oh, and I assume we're gonna get a... Oh, interesting. That's not what I expected. Oh, it's being jammed. Okay. Now that's an interesting... This means we can't go through with it, right? Well, jammers look so different now, but I assume we go over there. I should have looked at what we actually required to get through things. Now this is weird. So what do we actually need for the end? We need a blue and a red. It seems, okay. Key connections, connect. Okay, so we just need to shine a blue laser on you, and we're done. Easier said than done. You know what? I think what we need to do is we need to put you here, and we want you to jam, instead of that door, we want you to jam that door. So then we can keep your connections here, connect you like this, and put you in a place where it sees all of them. Instead of using the restrictive placement of that button. Again, as I say, World 1, very easy. We don't need to worry too much. We just sort of need to vibe with it.
I have good news and I have bad news.
Okay.
Still no idea what those particle clouds are, but I've managed to fix the transport system.
Nice. I mean
I'll
isn't
fix
that...
another bit of it.
Oh, okay.
When it goes to one more station now, don't
To World 2.
complain. 2 stations are better than none.
I wonder what's waiting for us there. What was the problem? An impressive success rate.
Sarcasm.
Oh.
Famously helpful.
That's not...
Why did we bring you along again?
Wasn't meant to be sarcastic, but alright. For my charm, for my sunny personality. Sorry, it was meant to be a joke. I'll apologise.
Newbie. I'm just pulling your leg. Which I helped make, by the way, so you better be grateful.
Let's stay focused. We're in unfamiliar territory. We can't afford to get distracted.
That's fair.
Al's right. Yakut, what does the next site look like?
It's a plateau in the mountains. Seems
Interesting.
like more of an open area with scattered structures, less enclosed. Couldn't tell much from the drone feed. There's a lot of trees. Looks pretty though.
Okay.
Okay. Keep exploring, everyone, but stay alert.
Every time I say something, and then a character immediately says it afterwards, I just... it cracks me up. Okay, so that's number 5. I guess we'll read the logs and we'll probably round off... Oh, we got a new Yeah, main puzzles, lost puzzles, that's what I was talking about. Gold puzzles, lost labs, don't even know what this means. And bare stars. They're telling us straight off about what to expect, but probably because people who are playing Talos Principle 2 have played Talos Principle 1, so kind of know to expect to look out for these sort of things. Do we have time to read this? Let's save this for next time, how about that? So for now, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Talos Principle 2, I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares greatly appreciated, socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now. I'm curious to see where this goes.